The hallway outside Courtroom for B smelled like old carpet and coffee that had been sitting too long. Lila sat with a folder on her knees. The kind of folder that held 6 years of discipline. Reduced to paper. Bank statements. Pay stubs. A savings timeline she had built the way she built everything else in her life. Slowly. Without asking anyone for help. Her parents were suing her. Over a house. Her house. 3 weeks earlier, she had closed on a modest 3-bedroom on the east side of town. The kind of place with a leaky faucet and good bones. She had saved for it since she was 23. Working weekends. Driving a car with 200,000 miles on it. Saying no to vacations her friends took without a second thought. When she finally signed the papers, she didn't feel excitement. She felt something else. Relief. The relief lasted 11 days. Then her mother called. Then her father got on the line. They said the down payment had come from a family fund. Money meant for whichever child needed it most. And in their eyes, that child had always been Carter. Lila didn't yell. She rarely did. She just sat very still. And asked one question. What family fund? Her parents believed a $4,000 gift they had given her 4 years earlier, money she had used to cover a semester of certification courses, had actually been a loan against something larger. A shared account. A promise. Something that, in their memory, had always existed. Lila remembered it differently. She remembered thanking them. She remembered paying them back the following spring without being asked. She remembered them telling her at the time it was simply a gift, because she had worked hard and deserved a little help. Memory, she was learning, could be reshaped by guilt. Carter's ventures had failed 3 times in 6 years. A food truck that never found its market. A clothing line that folded before it launched. A short-term rental scheme that ended with a lawsuit of its own. Each time, their parents stepped in. Each time, Lila said nothing. Because saying something felt like kicking someone who was already down. What she had not realized until the lawsuit landed on her doorstep was that her silence had been mistaken for consent. Somewhere along the way, Lila doesn't need help had quietly become Lila owes help. Her stability wasn't seen as something she built. It was seen as something she simply had. The way some people have brown eyes or a good memory. A trait, not a result. 2 days before the hearing, Carter showed up at her new house, holding a 6-pack he never opened. He sat on her porch steps. He told her he had not wanted this. He said he told their parents no twice, before finally going quiet. Because going quiet was easier than being the reason his mother cried at the dinner table again. I didn't want the house, he said. I wanted them to stop being disappointed in me. I thought if I let them fight for it, maybe they'd stop looking at me like that. Lila didn't respond right away. She just sat beside him, watching the porch light attract the same moths it had attracted every night that week. In court, the case fell apart in under 10 minutes. There was no fund. There was no loan agreement. There was a gift repaid. And a house purchased entirely through documented, traceable income. The judge dismissed the claim without much ceremony. The kind of dismissal that makes a courtroom feel smaller than it did 5 minutes earlier. Outside on the courthouse steps, Lila's mother reached for her arm. Not in anger. In something closer to exhaustion. We just wanted things to be even, she said. They were never uneven, Lila answered. You were just measuring the wrong thing. She explained it plainly, without raising her voice, because there was nothing left to prove. Being responsible wasn't a debt she owed her brother. Being struggling wasn't a debt he owed her, either. Somewhere in the family's math, steadiness had become a resource to be redistributed, instead of the result of 100 small, boring, difficult choices made when no one was watching. Her parents didn't apologize that day. Some things take longer than a courthouse conversation. But 2 weeks later, Carter texted her. Not to ask for anything. For the first time in years. I don't want the house. I never did. I think I just wanted to stop being the story everyone worries about. Lila read it twice before replying. She told him the story could change. Not through a lawsuit. And not through guilt. Just through decisions made quietly. The same way she had made hers. The house stayed hers. But that was never really the point. What she kept more than the deed was the understanding. That fairness isn't about who gets the same outcome. It's about recognizing who did the work and refusing to let someone else's struggle quietly become your bill to pay. Moral verse: